Friends, I welcome all of you. This is the CCNA series. So I'll start with the first topic, which is router. So you can see that there are many type of devices I've listed in the diagram. Actually, whenever the IP communication takes place, many type of devices or components participate in this. And one of the most important components is router. So in this diagram, this is router. This is how it is represented in diagram wise. This one is router as well. This is router. This is router. This is switch. This is switch. This one is firewall for security. And this is your server. These are the workstation, the host laptops or workstation, whatever you may call it. So what does router do? So routers basically help in forming the communication between different networks or subnets. Now what is this network? Network is group of addresses, common range of IP addresses. And what is the address? Address is an identifier on every device which participates in the communication. So if you are sitting in front of your laptop trying to surf internet, let's say you're opening a website named yahoo.com. That would mean you want yahoo.com server to present you the information which you desire. So here you have to understand that you are accessing the IP address of yahoo.com. Let's say the IP address of yahoo.com is 202.13.9.3 and your IP address, let's say it is 15.2.30.109. Now these are two different networks. So you need to have router which can help in communicating it. So this is the first thing. Inter-network communication. This is the main function of router. Second thing is that router receives the traffic from the device or devices connected on its interfaces and forwards that to the other devices by checking the destination address in that traffic. So basically traffic is packets. So let's say that this is your PC2. It sent traffic to this yahoo.com server, but it has to go via this path because this is how physical connections are there. So now this router, let's say R1, it opens up the packet. So packet is the traffic here, okay? So it finds out the destination IP. On the basis of destination IP, it checks its routing table, this router. And then it figures out which one is the best path to reach this destination IP. Okay, so there could be multiple connections because this diagram is very simple right now. It just has one connection, like this router is connected to this ISP router. So as per this diagram, R1 says this is the best next hope the traffic should be sent. So it forwards the traffic to this. Similarly, the same work will be done by this router and forwards it to this router. And this is how traffic moves. Now this is the security firewall which is used for maintaining the security. We'll talk about it at a later stage. Right now we are at the very basic stage. So the traffic is received by a switch and forwards it to web server. So second thing was router guides and forwards the traffic, forwards the packets. Now what else it does? It also advertises the networks. So why does it need to advertise the network? Actually, there are two ways to communicate at the router level. One is that you statically tell router what is connected to what interface. Second is that you use dynamic method wherein you will use routing protocols like OSPF, BGP, RIP, IGRP, whatever. So with the help of those routing protocols, it will be advertising the information of its networks. So what is network here? It is this interface. Because this switch is connected to this interface, this would mean this is one network. So it will advertise the information of this network to all of its other routers using dynamic routing. Like let's say this network is 10.1.1.0/24. It will advertise it to this router. And if you're also using routing protocol at this ISP router, it will also advertise it to this router, and this is how it goes on. Because internet is really huge, it is not possible to statically identify the destinations, because there would be a lot of administrative overhead. We will do a lot of mistakes. So it helps in building the routing table. That is the best definition of it. It builds routing table. This was the point number 3. So router can have multiple interfaces. It depends what type of router you have. There are various models. Some will have 2 interfaces, some will have 5, 10, whatever. So router is very costly device. One interface would mean one network, one broadcast domain. One interface would mean one network or one broadcast domain. And if there are 5, there would be 5 domains. So now let me tell you what type of interfaces you will find on these routers. First will be console port. This console port is used for configuring the router, because you need to configure it, only then it will work. Initially there will not be IP addresses configured. You have to do it. You have to connect a console cable on this console port, and other end will be your PC. You log in into router, you will verify the iOS, the operating system, inter-networking operating system. You'll configure the IP addresses, you will set up the telnet connection, you will run the routing protocol, enable, disable interfaces. All can be done by console port initially. Second is auxiliary port. Auxiliary is also like taking the control of the router when there is no IP communication. Means it is used for connecting to router using analog lines. It is not very much used. This one is very much used. Initially you have to rely on console only. So once you've configured the router, then what you can do is you can access it over the IP addresses. So every device which participates in the network must have the IP address. So IP is basically a logical address. It can be either IPv4 or IPv6. Logical means these can be changed as well. These are not hard coded. So if there are 5 interfaces on router which are being used, then you have to configure the 5 IP addresses, 5 networks. You cannot have same network configured on all 5 interfaces. You have to have different networks. So once IP addresses are configured, you can configure the devices which are connecting to these interfaces. So I was talking about console, auxiliary, and third was serial. Serial interfaces are actually point-to-point interfaces. These are not very high-speed interfaces. The examples of serial are T1, which used to provide maximum speed of 1.544 Mbps. Nowadays it is just very meager. E1 is 2.048 Mbps, very low speed. Nowadays we get 100 Mbps, 1000 Mbps. So these serial interfaces are losing its charms. The most popular interfaces are Ethernet based. Like Ethernet used to be like 10 Mbps earlier. After that fast Ethernet came, which provide 100 Mbps. Nowadays it is used, but since the time has changed, we are witnessing gig interfaces very commonly, which are 1000 Mbps, and there are 10 gig interfaces which are providing speed up to 10,000 Mbps. So these are the most popular. Now let me tell you what type of devices you can connect to this router. See, you can connect any type of device, but that device should have the ability to configure or work on IP. You can connect workstation, server, switch, layer 2 or layer 3, firewall, load balancer, any type of device. There is no such restriction. Other important thing is that because we have not covered OSI model till now, just remember that these routers work in layer 3, which is network layer. And the addresses which we used, means the IPv4 or IPv6, These are known as logical addresses. These also work in network layer. If you ask me what type of models of routers are available in the market, I'll tell you that 7200 series is easily available. It's very costly. If you look for low cost, 2900, 3850, many more. Open that Cisco website, you'll come to know about these models. At home, we use DSL routers, which are very low cost. It will not cost you more than 1000 rupees. Nowadays, ISPs are giving it almost free with every broadband connection, and these are also wireless. Wireless router would mean that it will also serve you the IP address over wireless. And there are various other type of representations available for routers like core router. If you have worked in enterprise, then you would notice that they follow Cisco's three-tier hierarchical structure, wherein there are layers like core layer, distribution layer, access layer. So if you connect your router at the access layer, it will be known as access router, distribution router for distribution layer, and the core layer appropriately. So if you use it at the edge of the network, we'll call it edge router. There are actually various terms. Sometimes we call it provider edge router, customer edge router. These are the terms. It is just a high level overview. Router is important, but other components are also very important, like firewall, which is used for providing security to your environment, because internet is a highly unsecured network or environment. And this switch works in LAN within the same segment. And one most important thing, so in what case router will not be used? Let's say that this is PC1, this is PC2. The IP of PC2 is 10.1.1.102 and PC1 IP is 10.1.1.101, and these are part of same segment, same network. If this PC1 is talking to PC2, that would mean it is communicating within the network, within the broadcast domain. So it doesn't need to go to this router, okay? Traffic will start like from this PC1, it will go to switch, then PC2. So router is only used for inter-network communication. That's it. You will know more about it when you get hold of the console of the router or terminal of the router. So friends, I hope that it's been informative to you. Thank you so much.